Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial. Today I am going to show you how to make a named pipe file for Wireshark and how you can invoke an SSH command in order to begin your capture. Now here's what you need to do. First, you must make that named pipe that I've talked about. And in order to make it, you cannot just type mkdir or create it with a touch command. It is not an ordinary text file, it is a pipe file. In order for you to make it, you will need to use a special command, but before we do so, I'm going to go ahead and list the contents of my TMP folder. You can see it's marked with yellow. It says packet capture. That is my pipe file. Let me just remove it for you. There we go. Yes, clear. And now I'm going to make it. So in case you don't know the command, in order to make pretty much any file under Linux, Unix type operating systems, you use mk. And there are various things that you can do with this. Let me just show you. Press tab twice and you can see how many options does mk have. And I'm just stating this because I want to reassure you that you do not need to memorize all of these commands. You just need to know a bit of basics and have a general idea, and from there just use tab and help menu. That's pretty much how we all learn. So what I do need is f will be my next argument, and you can see that it immediately lowers down to a smaller amount of combinations. What I need is mkfifo. That is a command in order to make a piped file. Since I already am in my TMP folder, I'm not going to specify a folder in which to make it because it's going to make it by default in the one that you already are. But in case you're not, you would just type in /tmp tmp, and then you would write the name of the file. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and write the name of the file. It's going to be packet capture. Sure. There we go. Now that I have made it, I have tested this out before, and I realized that you do need to change the permissions on this file in order to write into it from a remote system. Now I do not want to allow root login from other places to my original system, so I'm just going to go ahead, and this can be very dangerous. So chmod 777, I'm going to assign global mode to this particular pipe, and depending on the situation and depending on the source machine from which the packets are coming, you should go online and check proper permissions and suggestions for permissions depending on various situations. You can have a good amount of them, and you will be able to adapt to so that you may be able to adapt to situations. However, since I'm running this in a lab and my other machine is my own virtual machine that I have just installed, there is no reason why I shouldn't give it 777, I mean the global mode, primarily because I own both machines and I'm the only person that's going to use both of them, and I know exactly what sort of files am I going to stream from one to the other. So for me, it is safe now to issue global mode 777. However, for you, it probably won't be if you're doing this over the internet. And just go ahead, check it on the net, which file modes or permissions to use depending on various situations, because there are a good amount of them. But this is how you do it. You just type in chmod assign a mod with numbers, and then specify a file to which you are assigning this mod. You don't need to call it mode, you can just call it permissions, or basically they are permissions: read, write, and execute permissions. Anyway, now that that file has been created, now that we have the pipe and the permissions for it have been changed, let me just go ahead and clear the screen. Now there is a bit of a longer command that I have prepared here for you. And this is the command that you will issue on a remote system somewhere. Now you can log into it first via SSH and then issue it, or in my case, where I have two virtual machines set up, you can just go ahead and click on your virtual machine and issue it there. It's very simple. So you have TCP dump, and then you have parameters that are passed to TCP dump. You see this ETH0, that's a bit of a mistake. I have done this on my Ubuntu machine, so there it's called ETH0, but on the Fedora machine from which I'm going to perform a capture, this will be called something else. We will see when we actually get into it. -I interface, since TCP dump has very similar arguments as tshark, so just type in -I for interface, specify the interface, -w for write, and space dash to write to standard output. Then we have a pipe command. I have shown in previous tutorials what pipe is. Next to pipe, we type in space and then SSH. SSH command invokes the SSH protocol, and then you need to say it where you're connecting it, where do you want to connect, and who do you want to be on the remote system. So this username here, okay, I'm just gonna delete mine, and just for the sake of let me just go ahead and delete that for the simplicity's sake, so that you would be able to see it better. Username. So you would just type in the username here, and this is not who you are on your current system. This is who you want to be on the remote system somewhere. Then you have @ and type in the IP address or the host name of the remote system. 90% of time it's going to be an IP address, as it is unlikely that somebody's going to have a domain name on their personal PC or anything of a kind. Next up, there is -C. -C means you're specifying the ciphers to be used for SSH. We have ARC4, that's a cipher, and we have blowfish-CBC, cipher or a method of encryption. Let's just put it so. That's what they are. Right next to it, you have -C, which means you're basically telling SSH to compress all information that are to be transmitted. Very nice argument there. And afterwards you have -P for port. You would specify a port here. Mine is 22, but I don't know, SSH could be configured to run on so many ports out there. Basically you could type in something like this. I don't know, you get the idea. You see 10,000, is this 10,000? Yep, this is on port 10,000. Basically, if you configure your SSH to run over it, of course. But there is no need to do that now. Some people advise it for security reasons, but so that people couldn't figure out on which port you're running SSH. But I mean, it doesn't matter. A full port scan of the system will reveal this anyway. So just use the default one, port 22, open up the quotation marks, and now you're going to be passing the command to write the TCP dump into an output, into a file. So we have cat. Cat is basically, you're just concatenating, just basically taking something, whether it's from the standard output or it's from a file or something like that. You're just taking the text or taking the information within the file, then putting it to standard output, and from there outputting it to a file that you have specified. So I have specified mine to be that /tmp/packet capture. Yeah, I hate it when the terminal does this, when it splits the letters like this. It kind of makes it inconvenient to see, but you get the idea. I know where it is precisely, so I can just type it in. Anyway, close the quotation marks, and this will effectively gather information on network-related information on one system, transmit them over, pipe them to SSH, and then SSH will encrypt them and transmit them to your desired destination. So now that we have that done, let me just close that, open up my Fedora 21 virtual machine, and you can see I already have the setup made here. My IP address is this, 192.168.1.3. My username is here. We have the ciphers listed, have the compression, the port, the cat command, and TCP dump is set up and running. So if I press enter here, I will be prompted for a password, and you do need to type the password in. If you don't have the password, this is not going to work, I assure you of that. So yep, there we go. Press enter, and surely enough, the capture will start in a moment. Now that the capture has started, in the next tutorial I will open up Wireshark, and there within Wireshark we will see how you can actually extract information from the pipe, and how you can have it displayed in real time, pretty much. In any case, I thank you for watching, and I hope that you've enjoyed the tutorial.